our vision of Jamaica as the place of choice to live, work, do business, raise families, and retire in peace and prosperity.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
A new story is being written for all Jamaicans. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is on a mission to transform lives. From increasing access to potable water, providing secure homes for the most vulnerable, and helping you own a piece of the rock, we're revitalizing communities and preserving our environment. We're making an impact. See the difference. Feel the difference. Building a better Jamaica for you and me.
You can feel it. Make JC.
People always say government must be held accountable. But is whose job to keep government accountable? And what that really mean? Well, you see, when ministers and public officials have to provide answers for decisions made and can face consequences for those actions and decisions, that means they're being held accountable. Keeping government accountable is a key responsibility of our elected representatives, and the Parliament provides special tools or mechanisms just for this. As citizens, we need to understand how they work so we can play our part to ensure that the members of Parliament we elect are using the tools and doing their job well. Here are 4 of the primary tools you should understand and talk to your MP about. Tool number 1, Ministers' Statements. To effectively monitor the government, MPs need to stay informed. Every Tuesday when Parliament sits, different cabinet ministers are scheduled to give an update on decisions they're making on our behalf. These updates are called Statements by Ministers. They cover a wide range of national issues that other MPs, media, and citizens may have questions about and wish to examine further. That brings us to tool number 2. What you do when you want information? You ask questions, and that's why we have Question Time. Both opposition and government MPs can submit questions to the Prime Minister or Cabinet Ministers for details on, for example, how a contract was awarded or expenditure to purchase tablets for schools. So if you ever have a question for a government minister, try asking through your MP. After all, that's why they're your political representatives. They should represent your questions and concerns to the government. Tool number 3, Parliamentary Debates. When cabinet ministers present the government's proposals for new policies, laws,
everyone to this other meeting, this another meeting of the Joint Select Committee established to consider and review the Constitution Amendment Republic Bill. I don't think I can hide my disappointment that, we are hampered in getting the work done. I do understand, like I said before, that there are many things competing for the time and attention of members, and that there are so many other matters in the space given where we are, but the work still has to be done. I want to check whether the all updated minutes have been made available as was committed. And I am going to further ask that not only should the minutes be published on the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional web page, but Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask you to advise whether they can also be published on the Parliament's page. I know that there is a tab that deals with publications and documents. And from where I'm seeing, I believe publication can be accommodated. Although we have been hampered in some way and the parliamentary opposition has been absent, the records of the meeting will show that the matters are being considered and considered as thoroughly as they could. Of course, there is always room for improvement, but important questions have been asked, for which answers are being sought. Some answers have been provided by way of clarity. And I really do hope that those who take the time to tune in are becoming better informed about the process. And I want to thank those who tune in faithfully from time to time. Everyone will recall that when the process began to reform the Constitution, there were many voices criticizing and making suggestion about the importance of public education, the importance of engagement, because these reforms will have to be approved by the people. And we want the people to make informed decisions. At any given time in this ICT age, many things will compete for the attention of our people. And we will have to find a way to directing attention to what is important and not only focus on them in moments of crises. All right. Just to also say that yesterday, we achieved a significant goal in the Parliament when the job descriptions for parliamentarians was adopted by the Parliament on motion after it was tabled as a green paper and placed before a committee of the Parliament, a joint select committee of the Parliament, and it went through a process of engaging with the public. I take pride in the achievement of that goal on behalf of the administration, because the task was assigned me by Prime Minister Holness to have the document prepared, and the work was done in the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs very early. In fact, the work began right after the Prime Minister gave the commitment to the people of Jamaica that a job description would come for members of Parliament. And it was really a proud moment and an important achievement also in the broader constitutional reform work. So we are making progress. We are making progress on many things. And when they come together, Jamaicans will have a better understanding of the work being done. Very important work. And I really celebrate our crossing that milestone. All right. Member Golden, I don't recall, you were not part of that joint select committee that reviewed the proposed job description for parliamentarians.
No, Chair, I wasn't. And
Right.
I don't know why I felt that wasn't it a House committee or was it a joint select?
It was joint.
Joint? Okay, no, I wasn't.
Yes. Right. And the Speaker has committed to ensuring that the description is published in a pocket handbook and made available to the public. And I will also ensure that what was adopted is placed on our ministry website, since we were the line ministry that took charge of preparing the description under the instructions of the Prime Minister. All right. We are now on to confirmation of the minutes. I'm going to suggest that we review the minutes, and when we have the quorum, we can confirm. Madam Clerk, I'm just checking that the minutes were sent out to members ahead of the meeting.
Yes, sir, they were.
Yes, I know they were. And Just putting on the record that they were.
And
All
Madam,
right.
I'm sorry, in respect of your previous question as to whether,
I'm not hearing you clearly.
in respect of your previous question regarding the circulation of the full set of confirmed minutes, those
Yes.
two were sent out on the 21st of May. And I am not certain that I can guarantee that we would be able to publish them on the Parliament's website because we are in the process of getting a new website given the space constraints and other difficulties associated with the present one. And for the time being, we are limited to the present one, so I would not be able to guarantee immediate publication of them, but I'm sure that as soon as we have the capacity, we'll be happy to post them.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm aware that the Parliament's website is being reconstructed. I was really checking almost rhetorically that they could be published there once the page is up and running. And so we will have multiple spaces where members of the public who are interested may gain access to the records of the committee proceedings. All right.
Chair, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Harpo.
I can confirm that we are in receipt of the minutes from the committee clerk, and they have since been uploaded to the Road to Republic website along with the submissions made to the Parliament, well, to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. I was confident that my ministry team would move immediately to make them available. May I also ask that they be placed on the ministry's website too? Mr. Harper?
Chair, could you repeat that?
I'm also asking that the minutes be uploaded on the ministry's website in addition to the Road to Republic website.
Okay. All right. Well, action.
All of them.
Yes. Will do.
And they are the minutes as corrected and confirmed.
Correct.
Very well. And what I mean is that each week we will get the minutes showing the corrections that were made to the previous minutes. So we have the current minutes, but we also need the corrected version of the previous minutes. Please bear in mind that you are on camera, Mr. Harper. I see you are taking a call. Perhaps you may wish to go off camera. All right. All right, so we are now at item 5. These minutes are very important, as all minutes are, but just to say for those who are watching online, you may find, in case you had missed watching the meeting of May 7, you may find a lot to catch up on set out in this minute. All right, so on page 1, we have the attendance formalities.
Recording stopped.
Madam Clerk,
Recording in progress.
Okay. All right. Is there anything to be corrected on page 1? If nothing, we go to page 2. If there is nothing on page 2 to be corrected, we go to page 3. If there is nothing to be corrected on page 3, we go to page 4. If there is nothing to be corrected on page 4, we go to page 5. We go to page 6. If there is nothing to be corrected on page 6, we go to page 7. If there is no correction to 7, we go to page 8. If no proposed correction, we go to page 9. All right, if there is nothing to be corrected on page 9, we go through page 10. In the third sentence on page 10, the sentence which commences, instead, its role was to draft legislation to amend that sentence to read, its role was to pass legislation and to ensure that it was drafted in clear and unambiguous terms. Which would allow for interpretation firstly through use of the ordinary grammatical meaning of the words in context. And then interpretation and then through recognized aids to and then through other recognized aids to statutory interpretation as there. So the Madam Clerk, can you just read back to me what you heard?
Instead, its role was to pass.
Not hearing you. Yes.
Instead, its role was to pass legislation and to ensure that it was drafted in clear and unambiguous terms, which would allow for interpretation, firstly, through use of the ordinary grammatical meaning of the words in context, and then through other recognized aids to statutory interpretation.
Yes. Just to pluralize, was to pass legislation and to ensure they were drafted.
Okay.
Yes.
Ensure that they were drafted.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, if there is no other correction proposed for page 10, we go to page 11. If there is no other, or if there is no proposed correction to page 11, we go to page 12. The paragraph, page 12, the paragraph, penultimate paragraph, the chairman stated, I think the court's pronouncement that C should be a common C, that the capital C should be a common C. And towards the end of the sentence, once a bill has been duly passed, just to add the word duly. All right. So if the capitalization of courts is wrongly done, then we would just have it written not as a proper noun. Because we're not. All right, if there is no other proposed. So just to read what the relevant parts of the sentence would say. Once a bill has been duly passed. If there is no other proposed correction, we go to page 13. I believe monarch is to be capitalized.
Excuse me, please, Madam Chair. Could you point
Yes.
please?
I'm sorry?
Could you point me to the place?
Well, I see. We are now on page 13. We have
13.
just completed page 12.
No, I'm all right in that respect. It's just that you did not indicate where on page 13.
I see. Just at the very top, he noted that. It's the second sentence.
Fourth line.
Right. The chairman explained that the current structure of parliament is tripartite, consisting of the monarch, the Senate, and the House of Representatives.
Thank you.
And the legislative role of the monarch is limited to signifying assent to legislation, which is a formal act and not accompanied by a power of veto, and that is really by convention and not by convention. All right, so we insert by convention.
Would you indicate
and not by convention accompanied by a power of veto?
Not by convention accompanied. Thank you.
I mean, the Constitution says that the monarch's representative may signify assent or not, but conventionally, it's not the assent is not withheld. Haven't we been putting head of state in a capital to refer to it almost as a proper known term when used? And again, once a bill has been duly passed, we add the word duly. in that same paragraph. All right. So, all right. If there is no other proposed amendment to page 13, we go to page 14. All right, I'm proposing an amendment to the penultimate paragraph on page 14. The last sentence, which she stated that every role in the system had a purpose. I think it was the role of every office holder in the system had a purpose, not just every role. That the role of every office holder. Or it was a practice. It's not the practice of all legislation. It was a practice for. Yes. And is really reviewed by the Attorney General. The functions of the Attorney General may be carried out by the legal officers in the chambers, but it was
officially it should be with the review
the
by
Attorney
the
General.
Attorney General.
Yes.
And then, so it's all legislation to undergo review by the Attorney General, whose office was staffed by experts.
Yes.
Or
Who's the office?
Office.
And that sign is released before being assented to by the Governor General. So replace sign with assented to.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
excuse me, please, just to indicate that Senator Sinclair has joined us, so we now have.
Thank you. Fine. All right, if there is no other correction to page 14, we go to page 15. Just to go back to page 14, that line which says, the chairman stated that the assumption that being part of the government meant not upholding professional standards should never be accepted or validated. As regards the Attorney General in particular, she clarified that the role carried a specific legal responsibility, and being politically aligned did not automatically mean that the Attorney General would fail to properly consider matters. We take out that word automatically. Right? If there is no other proposed correction to page 14, we go to page 15. Section would apply to capitalizing head of state, where the term is used throughout the document, as it is used on this page also. The paragraph, the first, second, third paragraph, which begins, the chairman explained that the substantive legislative work was carried out by the two houses of parliament. The sentence which says that the next sentence, however, the head of states signifying assent should not be seen as mere rubber stamping, which might suggest something superficial, but must be understood as symbolic. Right? I'm proposing that you change the term during a non-comprehensive to during a phased review. I mean, while non-comprehensive would amount to the same, it can be misconstrued.
To mean that it will never be completed.
No, not just that, that the aspects of the review being done are not thorough or comprehensive. What it really meant is that everything was not being done at once. So comprehensive in that context may convey a different meaning than it would in another context.
I'm sorry, again, Chair, could you point me to the specific place?
The same paragraph, the third paragraph on page 13.
Okay.
Right.
A phased review.
Yes. The clause which says, but out of an abundance of caution and to avoid overlooking any constitutional implications during a phased review. So we are replacing non-comprehensive with a phased. The sentence which say the following paragraph, the chairman stated that there had been an instance where assent was withheld and noted that to her knowledge, nothing resulted from it. I don't think that conveyed the meaning. Nothing resulting from it. It really, what I was saying is that the bill did not go any further. So nothing resulted from it in that the bill did not go any further. So you can just replace the full stop with a comma and add in that the bill did not go any further.
Madam Chair, I do believe though that part of Senator Sinclair's concern, what he was trying to ascertain is if the bill goes no further and because the president has, I'm sorry, the Governor General has not given assent, what happens then? So I think that is what you were
I'm not addressing Senator
said
Sinclair's concern. I'm addressing what is written there so that my response was clear. I merely highlighted my knowledge of an instance when assent was not given and my knowledge that the matter did not go any further. And by not going any further, it meant that the bill did not become law.
Okay, thank you for that. It's just
that's
the
a clarity.
Right, but what was there was reflecting your response in respect of his question recorded before, which was the procedure to be followed where the president withheld assent. So I think what you were responding to when you said what you said was that it happened, the bill didn't go any further, and nothing else happened. So in other words,
Yes,
they're establishing that as far as you are aware, there is no specific procedure when it is that a bill can't go any further because of
right, right. So that's why I'm just adding for clarity. Nothing resulted from it. In that, people may wonder when I said nothing resulted from it, how do you what action was taken in respect of the Governor General or the head of state, as has happened in another jurisdiction. But nothing had happened, meaning that the bill did not go any further. That's it.
Okay. Would it do violence to your intention if we replaced in that with and, so that it would read, the chairman stated that there had been an instance where assent was withheld and noted that to her knowledge, nothing resulted from it and the bill did not go any further.
No, specifically, nothing resulted from it. Was the nothing meant the bill. There
In
was no
terms of
result.
the
The bill didn't go
outcome
any
of the
further.
bill, in terms of the
Yes,
outcome of the bill, so
yes.
that
I was not
there's
speaking ambiguously to anything else.
okay, so you were not meaning to respond to the question of what happens besides the outcome of the bill. Okay.
Oh, all right. If there is no other suggestion for correction on 15, we go to page 16. Uh, if there is no proposed amendment to 16, we go to 17. There is no proposal to amend 17. We go to page 18. All right. Will someone move for the confirmation of the minutes as corrected?
So,
Seconded, Madam Chair.
so move,
Thank
madam.
you. Thank you. Any matter arising? For me, there was one matter. Let me just check. Right, in my opening remarks, I commented on the publication of the confirmed and corrected minutes. And I was advised that to date, the minutes corrected and confirmed have been shared by the committee clerk with our ministry team. And those minutes have been uploaded to the Rotary Public website. I'm hoping that when the Parliament's website is reconstructed and the glitches being experienced now are corrected, that the minutes will also be uploaded there. And the other matter to do with just a minute, please. The other matter escapes me now. All right. Any matter from members? Anything to raise?
Not from me, Madam Chair.
Very well. All right. The next matter on the agenda is the review of the draft report. I don't believe that the draft report has. Well, let me just clarify and just check the mail. Members are in receipt of the draft report. I believe they were only shared yesterday. You can tell me if some more time would be required for members to read the report before we embark on the review of it. bearing in mind that we will have to finalize our recommendations for the Parliament. I'm proposing that our ministry team piloting the bill will assist members through, of course, the committee clerk with a list of decisions that have to be made, taking into account the list of policy issues that have arisen, which would have to be addressed through the ministry with portfolio responsibility and going back to the cabinet to settle some of those matters. If the recommendation to defer the review of the committee's report to the next meeting to allow members of the committee some time to read the draft, since it was only circulated yesterday, finds favor, please let me know.
I so agree, Madam Chair.
And I concur.
Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Is there any other business to be considered today? Members of the technical team, anything to be brought to the attention of the committee? All right, I take that as none. I am still proposing that we tentatively put the date of the next meeting to Wednesday in the unlikely event that the other committee meeting falls through. If the other committee meeting is confirmed, then we will look at another date for our next meeting. But I'm asking my faithful members, very faithful members, please, between now and the next meeting, go through the report so that when we come to the next meeting, we can move as efficiently as possible.
Very well, Madam Chair.
What was the proposed time for that? At 10 o'clock?
Yes, there is a meeting of another joint select committee that is reviewing the Integrity Commission Act set for next week. But I think all three of us are on that committee too.
Yes.
All right. I have nothing further to add by way of closing remarks. And the date of the next meeting, tentatively for next Wednesday, in the event that the other meeting is not being held. And if the other meeting is being held, then we will circulate a time in the following week, the following Wednesday. Right? It is now I believe just about 11:40. 11:39. We'll move for the adjournment of this meeting.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Thank you all. The meeting is hereby terminated.
Miss Blake, Program Director for the Nature Conservancy in Jamaica. Did you know that 2023 was the hottest year ever in the history of recorded temperatures in Jamaica? And nowhere has the heat been more scorching than in our capital city, Kingston. All happening in the midst of a construction boom and urban heat island effects that is challenging traditional construction practices and prompting us to find more novel ways to build to beat the heat. We can learn from city-states like Singapore, which is integrating nature-based solutions in their urban designs, manifesting as eye-catching green roofs, vertical gardens and green walls. Plants provide shade, reduce heat absorption by buildings, and release water vapor to provide a cooling effect and result in savings on air conditioning and other energy costs. Have you considered how nature-based solutions can make that distinctive difference to your next development? Learn more by visiting the United Nations Environment Programme project website, cityadapt.com, or simply scan this QR code right here. As Jamaica adapts to climate change, you can build better to beat the heat.
I'm the one camping tent. I'm showing why I'm about to.
End up here over here, son of a lift up now.
Welcome to Flatbridge. The infamous Dopey Church. I never afraid. If you wash your face with rice water, then you can see Dopey.
No, I don't want to say Dopey, no.
If I turn the yoke to the left, then the airplane will bank to the left.
Oh, that! Oh, that! Where's my bicycle, dog?